First of all, should I call you Kim or Kimberly? Because all your stuff says Kimberly, but I feel like people call you Kim.
It really doesn't matter to me. You can pick and choose whatever is easier for you.
Welcome to the Front Porch with Brian Beaudry.
I'd like to welcome today's guest, our global HR generalist at Point of Rental, Kim Medell-in. Okay, let's start with the basics. Who are you? Where are you from? And do you believe all is fair in love and war?
Who am I? That's a loaded question. Well, obviously, I'm the global HR generalist here at Point of Rental. I was born in Michigan, but I think I've lived in Texas long enough to call myself a Texan now. So, definitely from here now, in my mind. And do I believe all is fair in love and war? Definitely not. No.
Okay, is there like a what's the specific line that you're not supposed to cross?
Uh, I don't know. What specific line? Nothing. Everything's open, I think.
Well, if everything's open, then all is fair in love and war.
Well, I guess. It's a matter of perspective, maybe. Agree to disagree.
It just seems wrong to say that everything's fair, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we always start with we like to go way back, and basically, when you're a kid, everyone's asking you like, "Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?" Do you remember like the first thing that you ever wanted to be growing up?
Well, growing up, I wanted to be a singer. Um, as impossible feat as that was, now that I'm thinking about it as an adult, but that's what I wanted to be as I was growing up.
To what level did you want to be a singer? Like, I wanted to be a baseball player, but like by little league, it was very clear that was not going to happen. So, how far did you get along the singing path?
Oh, I wanted to go all the way. So I think the highest level that I achieved was pretty much well, I wouldn't say it was locally. I did go out of state a couple times and open up for different bands and did a lot of stuff at festivals in my state. So um, that's as far as it went. After that, moved to Texas and things kind of got a little disrupted after that.
I mean, that sounds pretty legit. Like actually going places and performing in front of audiences. That's definitely further than most people who probably grew up wanting to be singers. So, like, what kind of singing are you doing there?
I mean, I did a lot of different things. I did a lot of Spanish music, and I did some English. I did a couple of recordings with some originals from different songwriters. But at the end of the day, it just didn't pan out. It was just I could pretty much sing anything at that point, so it wasn't like anything specific that I can think or come up to mind.
I will say that it feels a little bit backwards of you to be like, "Hey, I'm going to do all this singing of Spanish language music while I'm in Michigan, and when I move to Texas, no more singing."
Well, coming to Texas, I was more of a newbie. I didn't really know what I was getting into when I came to Texas. Definitely learned more Spanish. I didn't speak a whole lot of Spanish when I got here, believe it or not.
You
So
only knew it through singing.
I could only do it through singing, believe it or not, again.
Okay. So was it a case of like when you got down to Texas, you just didn't have the connections or know who to go to, or was it just a case of like you reprioritized other stuff in your life?
No, that was exactly it. I didn't have any connections over here or knew where to start. My mom was a single parent, so she didn't really know how to get that started either. That was more of a me and dad thing growing up, so that's kind of where it ended.
Gotcha. Yeah, I wonder how many of those types of situations happen where it's just like, well, I maybe could have done something, but some other things got in the way and made sure that it didn't happen. So, like, do you still sing?
Yes, I actually do. I do sing occasionally for my church. So I've been on a couple worship teams. Not anything currently at the moment, but still sing every now and then.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I remember a lot of people being on worship teams and using that as a real opportunity to be in front of an audience and performing. You mentioned when we talked earlier that you had something involving you were trying out to be Selena or something.
Oh yes, I did a couple
Tell me
of
more about this.
I did a couple of auditions. I got to like the second round. So when it all started, it was like in Chicago where they had like kind of one of those pods where they would gather up a bunch of people. I think it was more of a publicity stunt now that I think about it, but it was a fun experience. So went there, sang a Selena song, read some lines, and then I got a call back and did a second reading and tried to hone in on my acting skills, which I'm not an actress, so that went as well as burnt pancakes at this point. So I mean, hey, it was an
Okay, so singing wise, they're like, yes, let's move you to the next round. Then they're like acting, and it's like, no, no,
no,
sorry.
no, yeah.
All right, well, that must have been like a really exciting call to get as a kid. Were you like the one that picked it up, or was it like your parents had to tell you that, hey, you've advanced to the second round, or how'd that work?
Actually, I had worked with a couple of people that managed me in a way, and they saw this opportunity come up and they signed me up for it or asked my parents if it was okay if I wanted to do it. And then we got everything kind of squared away, showed up to the auditions, and that's kind of how it went.
Nice. Well, yeah, it sounds like you are definitely much more accomplished in singing than than I ever was in baseball. Um, okay, well, you are a global HR generalist. You're not the next Selena yet. What was your next goal after singing? Was it a case of, well, I can't be a singer, so obviously the next option is HR?
Actually, no. I was kind of trying to figure myself out for a little bit there and trying to see what I liked or wanted to do out of life. Just like that little question of who are you? Um, so at the end of it all, by the end of high school, I wanted to pursue a nursing degree. So I went to college for a little bit and pursued that. Then I got a job in pharmacy or the pharmacy.
Yeah,
So for a long time, I was a pharmacy tech. Still kind of in the medical industry, but not like working in the hospitals with all of the gory stuff. So as
that's what got you out of nursing is the exposure to that stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I really liked it, and I thought for a little bit I was going to pursue a degree with pharmaceuticals, or actually, it's more like a math degree or chemistry degree that you're like pursuing. But um, to say all that, I ended up landing myself in a construction company who had a job for like an administrative position, and then from there, I learned about payroll. I learned about HR. Somebody really took me under their wing and kind of showed me the ropes, and from there, I just gained more experience every year with it, and that's how I ended up here.
So that was all at the construction company?
Yep.
Nice. So you know, you were semi rental adjacent before you got here, right?
Semi, yes.
We call it close enough most of the time. Okay, so that's how you got your start in HR. What kind of appealed to you about it? Because obviously you've been exploring things to this point, but it's like, okay, yeah, this is what I'm going to do.
I love a little bit of order in my life, or a lot of bit of order, obviously. Um, I don't know. The most rewarding thing of HR is putting something in place that it's the good for everybody. It's good for the company and it's good for the employees. And when it just all comes together, it's like this magical moment of this is something good, and we've done something good with our time, and it matters. So that's kind of the rewarding part of HR.
Good. Do you have a specific example of a thing that you were like, yeah, I'm glad I added this, whether it's at Point of Rental or the construction company or whatever.
I think we worked a lot in the construction industry to help employees with safety. So we worked a lot with the safety manager, and we were always in and out of different states because we were a multi-state company at that time. And we, put together a lot of policies and processes. It all stemmed for, oddly enough, someone getting hurt on the job where there wasn't enough people watching and kind of spotting. So they ended up getting hurt. So it resulted in an injury that could have been prevented. So putting the policies and procedures in place, working with another department, really really kind of set the tone for that. And ultimately, we ended up having a year where we were, accident free. So it worked out
Nice.
for us.
Yeah, I feel like unfortunately it is one of those things that like people don't see the need for it or recognize that it is a problem until they actually see, oh, hey, someone actually had to get hurt in order for us to realize that, hey, maybe we should do things safely.
Yes.
Okay, so you're working in this construction company. Somehow you find point of rental, even though you say not that rental adjacent. So how did you find point of rental, and what brought you here?
Oh, it's the same story as everybody else. They kind of get ready to move on and look for the next challenge, and so they put like 50 different applications everywhere through Indeed or LinkedIn. Oddly enough, it was through LinkedIn that I got a message back from Lathan in recruiting with his. I was like, who is this person? He's got this weird cowboy hat thing going on. I can't even see his. Is this legit? I can't even see his face.
Yeah, he does seem kind of spammy.
Yeah. So uh, he reached out and we ended up, chatting about my experience, and then I'm here. I'm in.
All right, so like, what was your like first responsibilities as soon as you come here? Because when your title is generalist, it makes it very confusing to know exactly what you're responsible for over there.
Well, I didn't start as a generalist. I didn't quite have all the experience and certification to place that title on myself quite yet. I came in as more of a coordinator, I think. It's part of the steps. And it was mostly, do the administrative tasks of gathering benefits. At the time, I was processing payroll. I was the backup to the FMLA claims. I did a little bit of the office stuff like updating name tags and getting new hire paperwork in order, onboarding, most of the small potato stuff when I came in. So
Yeah,
it
it's
was
the small
mostly,
potato stuff that kind of help you understand exactly how everything gets done around here and what the issues are, and then you can move on to the other stuff.
yes. Hmm.
Okay, interesting. All right, so there are two things I know about HR people. One of them is pretty much no one knows what they do. You just how has your role changed over time? Because you mentioned there's obviously that stuff at the beginning, but what is it that you're doing now?
Now it's being a little bit more strategic, thinking about our processes on a higher level, and working with other stakeholders. Like at first, I didn't really have, or I wasn't really in front of managers or talking to them quite as much as I do now. It's more identifying how can we make things better, how can we become a better employer. So I know that that's something that Dave Cameron really tries to work at, is coming up with different ways how we could be better, sometimes from the top to the bottom. So we have updated a lot of the manager training, and we're trying to be a little bit more proactive in that sense. So everybody kind of has the answers or policies in place that are going to make their life easier. Now I'm also involved in employee relations. So if we've got a complaint or we've got a lot of new hires, I mean, I'm the point of contact for onboarding for the most part, and then Susan will jump in if I'm on vacation or something like that. But for the most part, you'll see me a lot with the beginning stages of coming into point of rental. So and then coming up with different ideas of how can we make things better as far as the life cycle of an employee? Like, are we going to revamp our onboarding and make it a little bit more streamlined? Are we going to update our training and get that together with the HR department? Who do we talk to about that? These are all little different things that add up to a better experience for those who are coming into point of rental.
All right, and I get to work with you on some of those things, so I'm excited. This is going to be fun. All right. The other thing that we know about HR people is that they always have the best stories. Now, on your LinkedIn, it does say that your number one skill is confidentiality, which I'm a little bit jealous of and didn't know that that was an option. So don't name names or anything, but can you give me any interesting stories from maybe a previous job or from point of rental? Bonus points if it's something I have to delete before I share with anyone.
Well, Brian, I could share it, but the NDA has not expired, so.
Mm. All right. Well, we'll have to circle back with you. Interrupt someone else's podcast to be like, hey, the NDA has expired. Now we have more stories.
Okay.
All right. So what is your favorite part of what you do in your current role? It sounds like it's creating those things that are going to last for people.
Yes, it is. It's always about making somebody else's life a little bit easier. Um, I find that whenever we do have the same procedures or policies for everybody, everybody isn't guessing or doing their own thing, going a little rogue, and kind of throwing a monkey wrench in the way that something kind of flows. So for me, my favorite part is actually the onboarding piece. Like I love to see everybody coming in and seeing how we grow as a team. It's not just, for me, how much the company makes. It's also about how many people we get to employ, how many people's lives we actually make a difference in. Because it is a job, but it's a job that may provide a stable home for someone, or maybe that extra money they needed for, living the life that they wanted to live. These are all things that are important to me, that everybody gets to have the kind of, or live the kind of life that they want, and especially in a workplace that fosters a good experience, not something that they totally hate every day.
Yeah, and I know it's super fun to probably be around the beginning of that stages because like once upon a time I had been looking for jobs for a while, and then like when you get that job and when you're actually like showing up, it's so exciting to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go do something.
Definitely.
All right, before we get into other things, I want to play a game with you. We'll call it Medell-in or Medell-out. If you agree with it, say or it's true, say Medell-in. If you disagree with it, or if it's not true, say Medell-out. And then I'll need a reason for each of these answers. So Medell-in or Medell-out. You've been known to cry at movies.
Medell-out.
Okay, so why? Why? I know you're a movie enthusiast, so is it just something where you've like burnt yourself out on it, or is it something where you've never really gotten that attached or involved in movies, or how? What's up?
I don't know. My brain is a little bit funny. So when I'm watching something that's really sad, either really sarcastic voice comes up like, "Oh, come on. You knew that was coming." Or it's more of, "Why is she crying like that in the movie? Like why are they playing this music? This is really sappy." Um, or it could range to, I mean, is it that big of a deal? It's more of how my brain is just kind of working, these little voices that start up with the sarcastic questions, and then I can't cry because now I'm kind of laughing.
Yeah. Or it is sometimes funny to like think about it from like the actor's perspective of just like this didn't actually happen to you. That must be really weird to just suddenly have to burst into tears for no reason.
You know what comes to mind? It comes to mind where the Wayne's World, where they're doing like a video, and he's like, the worst part of it all is I never learned how to read, and then he's like putting water on his face so he can cry. It's kind of like that. So
Okay. Yeah, it's been a while. I need to rewatch that movie. That is my favorite movie of all time. I think I had in the notes that I was going to talk about it later, but we'll not have to talk about it now. All right, Medellin or Medell-out. You cheat at board or card games.
Medellin.
Okay, what's your game that you're mainly having to cheat at?
It's definitely Uno. I like to change the rules on people and say that's not a rule. We'll add a rule, and then that's not part of the rules at all. So
And you're doing it mid game.
yeah.
Okay, is it one of those things where it's like, well, it's your house, so you get to change the rules? Because that is kind of it's a house rule thing.
More of like, well, I played it like several different times with, so and so, and this is how they did it, and this is how I learned it. So it's kind of like manipulation at its best, I guess.
Okay, what's the rule that like most people would disagree with you on?
It's the doubles rule. Like some people are all about doubles, like laying down the same card of the same kind, and then, some people play it like that, some people don't. So sometimes I can get away with it mid game. Otherwise, it comes out to be some kind of debate, and then the whole game's kind of ruined by then. So
Okay, yeah, I've never played the version where it does that, but yeah, seeing some of those where it's like the plus twos or whatever stack up, it's like, yeah, you don't want to be the end of that train.
mhm.
All right, meta in or meta out. You've told an outrageous lie to a child.
Um, I'm pretty sure it's Medellin, but I don't remember what lie it was.
Dang
So
it, that's the follow up.
I know.
I want good lies to tell kids.
Yeah.
All right, well, Medellin or Medell-out, your favorite fast food fries are from McDonald's.
Medellin. I actually like McDonald's fries very much.
Okay, well, that one doesn't require as much explanation. So, Medellin or Medell-out, you have an embarrassing nickname or a nickname that you hate.
Ugh, Medellin. So I grew up with a lot of cousins, like a lot of cousins. And one of them specifically loved to call me Kimbo. Uh, he would, hey, Kimbo. And I'm like, I am not liking that name right now. Can you not? Hey, Kimbo. So just every time I saw him.
I was gonna say, wasn't there like an MMA fighter who was named Kimbo Slice or something like that? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but that's cool because followed up with a slice.
Yeah,
Me,
that's
a
fair.
5 foot nothing Hispanic girl, Kimbo, in the middle of it all, not going well.
I don't know. Sometimes those are the scariest. All right, well, let's go ahead and take a little break, and we'll get into your interesting character slash non work related questions.
It takes something special to dive into the unknown, to face the unpredictable, and unlock the mysteries that await beyond. Something tough, reliable, to fuel your confidence where elements seem to conspire to blur your senses. An unwavering ally, relentlessly field tested by the pioneers who ventured there before. It was constantly perfected over time for those who push their limits always further and shine an ever new light on our world. The Point of Rental Koozie.
All right, Kim. One of the things I've noticed about you in our interactions, we've kind of gotten to it a little bit, but basically you use a lot of quotes from generally what I'm assuming are movies. I don't know most of them. I'll be honest with you here. When did you start becoming this font of movie quotes?
I think once I got out of high school, I think things got a little heavy in the pharmacy department, especially. There was a lot going on there. So we used a lot of humor to kind of get through our day. One of them being through movie quotes. So that's kind of where it started.
Okay, were you like a kid that watched a lot of movies as a kid, or was your family like no watching movies?
No, my parents watched a lot of movies growing up. There's one specific my dad holds near and dear to his heart, which is Coming to America. He
Okay,
loves that movie.
very
Um,
quotable as well.
yeah, and that side of the family, they definitely quote that movie a lot. So I'm not the only one. I think it's mostly inherited.
All right, now we understand a little bit more. So what's your like quotability wheelhouse? So for myself, I can only really quote like Wayne's World and maybe some like early 2000s comedies. That was like when I was getting out of high school and kind of doing my own thing and had a lot of time to watch movies. So what's your wheelhouse?
It's a lot of different movies. I think maybe I need to watch less TV and read some more, pick up a book or go touch grass. But I mean, it just depends. Like one word will trigger something. Like I'll hear somebody like repeat the same word and it's over and over and over. And then I'll think about like Princess Bride, where he's like, you keep saying that word, but I don't think you really actually know what it means, you know? So it's something like that.
Okay. What is the movie that you would say like your number one movie if there were someone like running an analysis on whatever on all of your movie quotes, what would probably turn out to be like your number one?
I think it's definitely Nacho Libre.
Okay, I saw that movie once, so I don't know any of the quotes, but I technically have seen it. What's like the biggest one that you go to from there?
So when there's like a really awkward moment or like an awkward space or things have gotten a little heated, I usually kind of speak up and I'm like, I am singing at the party. And then people just start laughing and things have kind of switched over to being a little bit more light. I like to use humor a lot, especially with the heavy. So that's usually my go-to.
Makes sense. I like that one as well. I have written "you're also" as a question. I don't think that's going to be a good one, so I'm going to skip that. Later on, you're going to give me a top 5 list that isn't this, but let's do a different game. You said that you are an expert on Gen Alpha language, and my 13-year-old is kind of condescending towards current language, so I don't really get a lot of slang from her. She speaks like kind of like a Jane Austen novel. She will say like, "I'm presently doing something," and it's like, you sound crazy. But so since you are a Gen Alpha language expert, I might have come across some of these things by just being too online. But I want you to quiz me. So you say you have some Gen Alpha slang, and I'm supposed to guess what they are.
Yep. So the first one we'll start off. It's an easy one.
Oh
Crash
gosh.
out.
I mean, I think it's just I only know it like online, and it's just kind of you kind of just go crazy and kind of embarrass yourself on
Yeah.
on a general topic.
Yep. What would probably be the equivalent of freaking out? Yeah.
Okay.
How about phantom tax?
Phantom tax?
Not phantom, phantom tax.
Then absolutely no freaking idea. What the heck?
It means you're like stealing a portion of someone's food.
Mm.
Got phantom tax.
Okay, I'm familiar with the parent tax or the dad
Mhm.
tax, but not of phantom tax. What the heck's a phantom?
I guess it's like their slang for phantom because phantom is too
Yeah,
appropriate for the
they
what they're
can't pronounce
saying.
the T.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Too much effort.
I said I know the slang. I don't understand the slang.
Oh,
Like
okay.
really.
Okay.
So obviously everybody's heard the 6-7. It's kind of
Yeah.
up there with skibbity bibbity in my opinion. It could go either way. Though skibbity bibbity usually means something bad or something kind of cringy.
Okay. Yeah. 6-7 just seemed like I don't know. I think it seemed like it was something is rated between like a 6 and 7, so it's like but I'm not sure. I just
I've
know the
heard
little gesture thing.
I've heard different things. I've heard it comes from some rap song talking about someone's height, a basketball player's height to be exact. I've asked my kids several times, well, what does that even mean? They're like, it doesn't really mean anything. It's just to get the conversation going. I was like, that's a weird icebreaker if you ask me. But then again, I'm like prehistoric to you. So
It's
what do
fair.
I know?
Yeah.
Let's see. How about Sigma?
Shoot. I've seen references of this, but I don't know. I want to say not great, but
It just means an independent person or a lone wolf type.
oh, interesting.
Hmm.
Okay. I've heard of the other Greek letters, but those are more like actually rooted in literature type stuff. But yeah.
I mean, I'm still trying to think of why anybody would choose Sigma out of all of them, but I'm sure there's some kind of meaning or maybe not.
There's like a meaning to like that first person and then no one else knows it.
Yep. Do you know what it means to be cooked?
I mean, in sports generally it's just you're you're over the hill, like you're done. You're it could, I guess, be like it's usually in terms of like age. This guy's aged out of it, or like done being productive or useful as on a team. But I guess it could also be uh, the equivalent of roasted if it's like in an argument or whatever. You got cooked.
Yeah, you kind of got the gist of it. It's I'm cooked is like, oh, I'm in trouble or I'm done
Mm.
or something of that nature. Likewise, they also use "let me cook," like
Oh
let.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember we made a lot of fun of Russell Wilson as a Seahawks fan for "Let Me Cook," and then basically every time he screwed up, we made fun of the dishes that he was making.
And as a Michigan Wolverines fan, because that's what I grew up with, that's one of my favorite college teams. Ohio. Ohio is another piece of slang.
Mm. Well, I don't have very positive associations with Ohio, but
It
I
used
assume it's also not a positive association for any Michigan fan either. So,
No, it isn't. So Ohio in Gen Alpha slang is something kind of cringy or weird or not great. So I
all
was
right. Well, at least they definitely got one right. So, sorry to the people that I know. I know a couple people that I like from Ohio, but yeah. All right. That's enough of that. Let's get back to the regular questions. Do you have a personal mission statement? If you had to describe like what you want out of life in a sentence or so, what would you say?
personal missions statement. I think I would say life is too short to take yourself that seriously.
It isn't like it from like Van Wilder and like you'll don't take it too seriously. You'll never get out alive.
Life. He doesn't he say something like something about it moves fast, and if you don't stop and take a look every once in a while, it'll pass you by or something like that. I know
Mm,
it made it to a couple of graduation themes for some of the classes as my cousins were growing up. So something like
makes
that, yeah.
makes sense. All right. I try to quote. Didn't get it right, but whatever. Um. All right. What's your biggest work pet peeve? As a new member of the team, how can I avoid annoying you?
Asking me to do something when it's already too late. So I'm a I don't like to react to a lot of things, even though a lot of my job does require me to do that. So I am adaptive. But if it's you're a repeat offender of doing that, then it's like, I don't know about that.
Okay. I can see that also. Yeah, just being frustrating everywhere. It's like, hey, your poor planning should not be my emergency or whatever. Okay, I feel like it's unfair to ask you a million questions and you don't get to ask me any, so this is your space to ask one question. Although I did let you ask the Gen Alpha questions, but whatever.
I would have to ask, who was your favorite who was your favorite band growing up? Like, say, for instance, between the ages of 15 to 20.
Okay, so like 15 to 20, I was definitely a nerd and I was really 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 into the Beatles. Like my parents didn't like put that on me. I discovered it, but yeah, like I bought all the CDs. I bought the anthologies. Um, I have like a book anthology of it, and yeah, so I didn't really get into music of like my era until later, until I was like in my 20s, and now I'm kind of more into some of the 90s stuff, and I try to get some more current stuff, but yeah, I've always been like 20 to 30 years. I feel like it's doing it that way allows the garbage to get filtered out and like only the good stuff from whatever era remains, and then it's like, all right, now I'll check it out. I don't need to go through whatever. You guys figure out what's good. I'll check out what's good.
Gotcha.
All right. Before we go to the five important questions, I need you to give me a top five list in a segment we'll call "Give Me Five." Now, you mentioned that you were a singer, were slash are a singer, and therefore you do karaoke on occasion. So I want your top five karaoke songs.
Okay, top five karaoke songs. So
Start at number five.
number five would be "Raise Your Glass" from Pink.
Okay. Why that one?
Uh, it usually gets the party going, depending on what setting you are. Obviously, if it's kid friendly or adult. On the adult side, it's a lot more fun because, you know. So, That's a good one to start with.
Okay.
Um, Number four would be Bruno Mars' Uptown Funk. Everybody loves the song. It usually gets everybody dancing.
Okay.
How can you go wrong with Bruno Mars?
That one is a bop.
Yeah. The third one would probably be Journey, Don't Stop Believing, because who doesn't know the words? I
I
mean,
was gonna say that is like a requirement of any evening, I think, at
mhm.
a karaoke bar.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna do it. It might as well be you, I guess.
Yep.
Okay.
Then I personally like because 2000s were awesome. So The Killers, Mr. Brightside usually gets everybody going too.
Okay. I can see that one. I know a lot of there's a decent number of hockey teams or whatever that play that routinely.
Yes. And then lastly, if I'm feeling like I really actually do want to sing that day, it'll be If I Ain't Got You from Alicia Keys. That's my go-to song to sing if I wanted to sing.
Okay, does that one get the audience going? Again, I don't remember song titles super well, but the other one, most of them sound like let's get the party started type things that either people are going to dance to or sing along to. Is that one that
It's not. It's mostly fun to sing. So
Okay.
like you actually are a singer. It's pretty fun to sing.
I was going to say from what I remember about Alicia Keys, it wasn't really that type of music, but it was like actual music, I guess. All right, do you have any rules for karaoke for people that maybe aren't as good at singing? What should I consider if I were to try to do it?
If you aren't as good, always go with the crowd pleasers. So the first four songs that I listed would probably be your best bet because then now you get the crowd involved and you don't actually have to sing very much. Um, Second thing is stage presence is everything. So if you're going to totally bomb singing it, as long as you've got the on stage swagger or you're pretty comical, people don't really care how you sing at all. Or three, if you're really terrible, go with a group. So you can always pull a YMCA with a group of people and kind of, feed off of each other's energy, and that usually gets the spotlight off of you.
Good ideas. All right, thank you. All right, I need you to pitch me on a rental business. We're going to make you start a rental business in a month. You have really only a month to kind of plan and get ready. What would you be renting to people?
Hmm. When I think about this, I think about the infomercials at like 2 o'clock in the morning when I was growing up, where you're just like watching some crazy, what is that green pan with the egg kind of sliding around. And you're like, why are they playing this right now? So when I think about this, I think probably the rental business would probably be um, renting renting a quinceanera for a day. So maybe quinceanera for a day. Yeah, because those are expensive, like really expensive. So it'd probably be like tired of having extra storage for a dress you're never gonna wear again. What is this about renting people to dance with your daughter on her special day? Well, we have it all in one. We've got all the pre-packaged. We've got the gold package, silver package, and bronze package. How far do you want to go? Rent a quinceanera, or something like
What is the bronze package? What's worse than the
that.
what are you offering?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you've been here or if you've ever really attended them, but they can get really glamorous or really kind of like meh. So some people do it like in their backyard,
Yeah.
and then some people do it like in this like grand looking hall, and they've got like all the bells and whistles with the band and everything. It looks like a wedding. Like it literally looks like a wedding, except it's really the origins of it all is really no different than maybe a debutante ball, except it's just focusing on one person.
Yeah, I feel like it's more of like a Sweet 16 when there was like that MTV show where it's like my super Sweet 16 and like all the most spoiled people in the universe have like these huge things and it's like it feels like it's that but at 15.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a more of a coming of age type deal. So I mean, they just get really expensive. I know people have paid like 10,000 plus to maybe 20. So and then you have to turn around and do it again when she gets married. So
Yeah.
can be a financial strain.
Yeah, there's some level of I love you, but I don't like you that much. Sorry. All right, let's get to the 5 important questions.
5 important questions.
5 important questions.
5 important questions.
All right, number 1. What would you say is your greatest success in life?
Greatest success in life. I think it would be giving my life to Christ. I think, surrendering my life was the best decision I made. And so that's what I would call a great success.
Okay, when did you do that?
I actually did it really late. So I think I was in my 20s. I think I was like 22 when I did.
Okay. So, what is your greatest fear?
Greatest fear is drowning. Um, that's that's a big one. Whether it's physically or figuratively, that is my biggest fear.
Okay, does that like stem from like an actual incident, or is it just one of those things that you've just always had a fear and obviously it seems unpleasant?
It's always been something that it just seems unpleasant. I don't think, breathing in some water is fun for anybody. And luckily, it's never happened to me. I did do a lot of swimming when I was younger because, Great Lakes, who doesn't go? But other than that, I mean, yeah, it is just sounds like a terrible way to go.
All right, good. That was my follow up. Is like, does it make you not even like swim, or? But it sounds like you at least figured out. So if you do get in water, you can get yourself to safety instead of just panicking.
Correct.
All right, what's something that you've changed your mind on?
Thinking that you had to have everything together when you get to a certain age. So I think growing up, especially in my 20s, I was thinking, man, I'm going to have this and I'm going to do that with my life and I'm going to go traveling and I'm going to have kids when I have it all figured out. And turns out life doesn't work that way sometimes. So I've definitely changed my mind on what people would probably think is a milestone and having everything together.
Yeah, I feel like there's like when you're a kid, it feels like people have things figured out, and then you realize like later on, it's like, oh, none of these people know anything.
Exactly.
All right, if you could tell first day at Point of Rental Kim one piece of advice, what would you tell her?
Um, be patient. Patient with yourself and patient with others around you, and maybe even the situations you find yourself in.
Okay, was there like a situation early on where you weren't patient enough, or
I usually think about these things that would be really great, but I don't actually have like the full support of like maybe a 15-member team. And a lot of the things that would like to see at point of rental, we just don't have the manpower for, and it's a huge thing to undertake from one person. So sometimes I have to talk myself down a little bit and say, "Whoa, let's start off smaller because eventually get to that, but it's probably not going to be right now."
yeah, yeah, there's always an like ideal, and then it's like, okay, how can we start taking steps to get to that instead of just being frustrated that we can't reach it? What is something that you believe that it feels like no one agrees with you on?
Um, Rules are actually good for you. Um, for the most part, people kind of want to get to the cheese really fast. So, um, they kind of circumvent or do their own thing, go a little bit rogue, and then next thing you know, we're kind of finding ourselves in a situation we don't actually want to be in.
Yeah.
So rules are there for you. They're good for you.
All right. Well, sorry you've been sentenced to death as believing rules are good for you. Well, now it's a rule that's not so good for you, and it's capital offense. And yeah, what's your last meal and why?
My last meal would be a homemade, grandma made tortilla. Like that was like the best growing up.
Just a tortilla, nothing on it.
Just a tortilla. Well, maybe some butter, but other than that, she made like the best tortillas. So that would probably be it.
Okay. No sides or beverages or anything. Just tortilla.
Nope, No.
Very simple. I like it. All right. If you could change one thing about yourself, this is like a genie situation and you just get the wish and it automatically happens. What would it be?
If I had to change anything about myself, it would be not being as tall as I would like to be. So I am extremely short. I am 5 foot nothing. So when I'm at a shoe store, my husband loses me. Like he cannot see my head over the shoe shelves, and he's like, "Kim," and I'm like, "I'm right here." So yeah, if I could be a little bit taller, that would be great.
Okay. So you don't want to just like wear a hat that's like really tall and like has a flag on it, like some of those little
No,
carts.
no, definitely not.
Okay. If you could change one thing about point of rental, again, this is a snap change. You don't have to wait and build that, build that team or whatever. You could have it immediately. What would it be?
I think it's having a fast track way for people to promote. I think getting people to where they want to be in their career would be great.
Awesome. All right. Tell me a secret about point of rental, something that not enough people know about.
Mm, let's see. A secret about point of rental. I think this, if I had to say that there was anything, which is not a well kept secret, that they have great people that work there. From what some might deem a non-managerial position to the managers at point of rental. We have great people that work there. They're always willing to help and be kind to each other. So not well kept, but it is their
Yeah, I was
secret.
gonna say hopefully that's not a secret. Otherwise, we're doing. But I'll accept it. So we're not just. It doesn't feel like a session where we're grilling you and demanding secrets. What's something that I should have asked you, but because we weren't best friends at the beginning of this interview, although now we are, obviously. Yeah, what's something I should have asked you about?
I think you covered it all, honestly, Brian. There really isn't very much else.
That's
Yeah.
that's not true. I forgot to talk to you about sports because I didn't want to get too involved in sports. So you mentioned you're a Michigan Wolverines fan.
Hmm.
What else are you fans of?
Oh, I love the Dallas Stars. I love watching hockey. My husband will
What?
probably beg to differ, but that's usually my go-to sport.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's weird to think of you as a hockey fan, but then it's like, wait, you're from Michigan, and I think that you have to be a hockey fan. Is that a thing that you've been a hockey fan your whole life, or is it a case of like you're a Stars fan because of some other reason?
I wasn't an avid hockey fan, but I did, really like the sport because we used to do like field trips to like the local hockey team games. So growing up, it was something definitely there as a sport, a favorite sport, if any.
Okay, you ever play hockey?
No. Well, I digress. It was more like floor hockey during gym class.
Yeah, that's the more standard version. Ice hockey would be a bit more expensive for a school. All right. Well, thank you, Kim, for chatting today. And thank you to everyone watching on YouTube or listening wherever you're listening. It means a lot to me. Share the podcast with your friends, and then we will all talk about Kim later. See you next month. We'll keep the porch light burning for you.